In our last video, we traveled from Washington, D.C. to New York City on the first-class jet bus. We had a great experience, so if you want to know more about that option for this route, check that out. In this week's video, we're taking the Amtrak Acela from Boston back to Washington, D.C. so we could have a little different experience. Today, I'm going to tell you all about our first-class seat and show you what this train is all about. So let's go.
We're John and Bev, and we are the Retirement Travelers.
If you're just joining us, Bev and I are full-time world travelers. We have a website and a newsletter, and if you're interested in senior world travel, we have a community group on Facebook, and we invite you to join us where we talk about all things travel. We just finished a round trip from DC to Boston to visit our son, so we thought this would be a great time to compare the jet bus to the Amtrak Acela train. You can go back and watch that video if it's of interest to you, but today it is all about the Acela. We boarded the Acela at the South Station in Boston and made the entire trip to DC. The Acela route runs in both directions between Boston and Washington, D.C., and this route is about 450 miles long and takes approximately 7 hours to complete. The Acela is the fastest train in the United States, and it reaches speeds up to 150 miles per hour. For comparison, the next fastest train in the U.S. is the Brightline in Florida, which reaches about 125 miles per hour. In the spring of 2025, the Acela next-gen fleet will reach a top speed of 180 miles per hour, so be on the lookout for that one. However, there are some delays to this service, so we'll see how that progresses. The new trains will also feature an updated look, more legroom, and modern interiors. The current Acela travels at an average speed of 70 miles per hour and makes 13 stops along the way. Now this is a busy corridor and the train runs daily with various times throughout the day. One of the reasons it's so popular is it offers downtown service to Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York City, which can help you avoid any long airport commutes if you were to fly. About 12 million people a year travel this rail route on either the Acela or the Northeast Regional. About 3 million of those travel on the Acela and another 9 million travel on the regional trains. The regional is much cheaper, but it's also much slower with more stops. Now there are 3 different types of seats on the Acela, and we were in the first class, and there's also 2 types of business class seats. One is the quiet car, where phone conversations are not allowed and talking is kept to a minimum, and the other is the regular business class car, where conversation is permitted at a normal volume. The first class seats were very comfortable, and while we didn't have assigned window seats, our seatmates kindly offered the window seat to Bev, who gladly took it to film. Now let me just say, we're always amazed by the graciousness of American travelers, and we really appreciated this generosity. The seats are arranged with 2 seats on one side of the aisle and 1 seat on the other, which allows for wider seating compared to business class, where the configuration is 2 by 2. The first class seats were leather and the finishes were upgraded. We also enjoyed more legroom than the business class. Now while we had a table, not all seats had tables. Some had folding trays. The bathrooms were very clean and odor-free. We rarely had to wait in line, and we found them to be sufficient for this train service. Now, everyone on the train had access to free Wi-Fi, although the service kind of slowed down a little bit as the car became busier. Our understanding of the differences between first class and business class primarily lies in the meal service, a larger seat and a little more legroom. In first class, we enjoyed an excellent breakfast and a lovely lunch in our seats, along with complimentary beer, wine, and soda. Now this was probably the nicest meal service we'd ever had on a non-luxury train. It was presented very well and it tasted great. Another advantage of first class is access to the lounge at the train station, and you know how we love lounges. Now, this offers free snacks and Wi-Fi. At some stations, first class passengers are allowed to even board earlier, but this didn't matter since we all had assigned seats. Overall, our experience was very positive. The track was smooth, but it did have some bumps and it wasn't always easy to walk around, but overall our experience wasn't much different than the European trains. We often say that train travel is our favorite mode of transportation, and our 2025 plans include many miles on trains all around the world, so stay tuned for those. On the Acela, it's important to note that there are two classes of service, business class and first class. There's no coach. The price difference is significant, with average first class tickets ranging from about $240 to $475, depending on when they're purchased and the day and time of travel. Business class tickets range from about $70 up to $280. We don't consider ourselves to be budget travelers, but we prefer to call ourselves bargain travelers. You know, we're looking to spend our money on things that make our trips special, but also save when we have a chance. You know, looking back at this experience, we think the better bargain would be to book business class tickets and pay for your food in the cafe car. You know, the price difference can be a lot, and for us, we'd have been just as happy in business class. You know, the first class was nice, but it was not an over-the-top experience. I hope this information was helpful to you, and here's a bit of commentary where Bev and I compare the jet bus to the Amtrak Acela. And if you're not familiar with this service, we'll put a link to that video at the end of this one. Also, stay tuned for some beautiful footage of the Amtrak Acela.
So which do you like the best? Bus or train?
Bus or train? Well, you know, I first thought it was going to be train for sure.
Well, because we love train travel.
We do. Now we're almost back to DC, and so we've got a good feel for this train ride, and it's very nice.
Yeah.
But
as you can see, we're going pretty fast.
I would
see that?
I would say that the train ride is actually a little bumpier. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, if you do the I have a bathroom gauge. And how hard do I have to hold on to use the bathroom? And I have to hold on.
You probably don't want to know all of that.
Too much information. But I would say that the bus ride is probably more relaxing, especially with the seats than
well,
the
it's
train.
more intimate. I mean, there are only 11 passengers, I think. And then we also had a really nice attendant. The attendant here has been okay, but she's not necessarily been friendly.
Yes, and plus just a lot more people, just as many stops, I think, on the train as there was the bus.
Yeah, because on the bus we had to stop it for trapfic and
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, but actually it's probably more stops on the train, okay, and just a lot more people to deal with. But, you know, both ways. You know, I think the good news is if you're in DC or New York, you've got two great options.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I don't think either of them are bad. If we had it to do over, I'd probably do bus. Thing to do if you live in the DC or New York area is, you know, take the bus one way and take the train the other, because you kind of get a different experience. So we enjoyed both of them.
Yeah, we had a good day.
I've seen the stars on the ocean, and fields of grass beneath the blue. I've heard the songs of summer singing, like a humming hymn of June. There's always something around the corner, something more to be found. And I'm sure the coast of California Honey, I just wanna come home to you.
Be sure to hit subscribe and follow along on our retirement journey around the world.